Go live. See, nobody's fucking talking. All right, everyone's where's my cat? There we are. All right, there's the show notes. All right, and 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Go Hunt, the hunting and outdoors podcast that stole your dog's heart. As always, we have Vince H., who's hotter than you, Dave Packard, who can't wait for it, freeze, because fuck this heat and its stupid ass. Let's try that again. Dave Packard, who can't wait for it to freeze because fuck this heat and its stupid ass. Going on a paid parking overland adventure by the lake because it's too goddamn hot. It's Mike Gonsalves, and I am Sam Alexander, Lord of the Mushroom People. Tonight we're talking about running guns, kids, and coverage from the heat that you may experience.
That was the best intro ever.
Well, you all okay? Except for Vince, who gave me a run-on sentence. I didn't read that beforehand, so I'm like, wait, Dave, who can't wait for it freeze.
Yeah, that was my fuck up.
It's like, all right, now we can go back and actually read it.
Okay, some of that's my fault because I saw Dave put it twice, so I just started adding extra words in his.
I was wondering. I was like, I did not add 2 fucks and 2 stupids. I meant it too.
It too, Vinco.
I'm over here like.
Honestly, if we didn't have you to fuck with our intro, Vince, it would not be the same.
Oh, it's been better ever since.
Yep.
So, for those who are listening who cannot see, I am Lord of the Mushroom People because it turns out I have the largest head on the planet.
I disagree. I worked with a guy who had bigger, and those things, he had to squish it because that's what you... Go ahead, I'll explain later.
Oh, no, it's fine. I went to the surplus store to feed my addiction, and I was like, ooh, advanced combat helmet for a pretty good price. 150, all right, sweet, can make it out the door. And then I took it home and then realized that my head has grown 1.5 centimeters, if not more, over the last 7 years.
Which big brain.
Why my children have large heads too. And I now wear an XL helmet that was previously worn by what I can only imagine was like a 6'5" across, 7'5" tall Polynesian man.
Don't you have some sort of Polynesian name to go with that helmet?
I can't pronounce it, so I was not going to touch it.
I like how it camos into the back of your camo netting really, really well.
Oh, yeah, let's see my head.
I can barely see the mushroom on top of your head.
Right?
It's like the name of that guy who sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yeah.
Something like that. But, yeah.
Yeah, he had a smaller head than Sam.
Ukulele.
He takes the hat off.
I'll leave it on all episode. Don't tempt me.
Leave it on all episode. I tempt you.
Fine then.
Officially.
Fine, I'll do it. I don't care.
He's going to do it out of spite.
My head might get hot, but anyway. So that's why I'm Lord of the Mushroom People. I don't know what you people are complaining about it being hot outside. I didn't experience anything related to heat whatsoever.
Our work pickup read 107 today.
Oof.
I think I capped out on the interstate at like 98 and no AC, so that was fun.
Mile per hour? Or
yes.
First one, then the temperature.
The faster you go, the better your 270 AC works.
Except for when I found out when it's that hot and you're on I-25, it does. I don't think it actually makes a difference. The air coming in is just hot.
Blow dryer.
Yeah, do you remember the old pickup windows and old car windows?
The wing windows.
Yep.
Yeah, the little wing windows. You're supposed to turn those out so they catch the air and blow them straight into you, but you're going like 80 miles an hour.
My head does not look normal sized.
You should see him in person. He's got a much bigger head than you would imagine.
I've been getting a lot of mileage for the past couple of days.
Also, his skull's huge.
I've been getting a lot of mileage the last couple of days. It's a sticker, but I just screenshotted it of Toad from Mario wearing a helmet over his giant mushroom head. That's me.
You should make that into a stamp and then put that on your mushroom.
Oh, my mushroom stands?
Dude, that's a great idea.
Sam looks like he has narrow shoulders. Turns out his head's just huge.
Apparently,
Huge.
I mean, I'm not exactly like it's. I'm not going to say it's a crisis here, but at the same time, I didn't realize my head was just so damn big.
You hit your head on everything, and you're
I
like,
do.
"Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's why."
That's because people well, everyone. I mean, working in people's houses for years and years, people hang their chandeliers in their dining rooms right above my peripheral vision. Sometimes half of them, the other half of them are just really low, and so I'll crawl underneath them, doing something on the floor, and then stand up into them.
I wear a ball cap as a clearance indicator.
Ball caps are good because they give you that couple inch, or not a couple inches, but like half inch to like 3/4 of an inch
yes.
of gap.
Unless you hit it wrong and you hit that stupid little fucking
Yeah.
ball on the top.
Oh,
It's
I
like,
hate
oh,
trying to wear
cool.
ball caps because
My soft spot's back.
I hate trying to wear a ball cap when you're trying to wear like over the ear pro, and you got that little thingy majig on the top
Yep.
of the hat, and it's like,
you tighten them down and just presses into your skull.
so you have to do like this, or you have to do like this.
Oh no, you just cut a hole in your headband, dude.
You know in Starship Troopers
like how
when
his
they
earmuffs
go to the
fell off,
outpost and the
but didn't
dude
hear that.
they pull the dude back and it was their first glimpse of a dude getting his brain sucked out by the brain bug.
I'm back.
That's what happens when you stand up too hard wearing a ball cap into a shelf or something.
Vince wants tactical visors to come into play. They don't have
That'd be so cool.
literally, it would be. It would feel the wind in your hair.
Yes.
While also being shaded from this stupid fucking sun.
Yeah,
But
heat.
Vince has a mohawk, so he would really need more like a target top or a T-top or something kind of visor instead of the full convertible.
he just cuts a
Yeah,
strip
something
out
to
of the
cover
middle
up
of every
like-
ball cap he owns, so that his hair can come out of it.
I mean, that works too.
Just get a straw cowboy hat and cut the crown out. Just have the brim.
So that the mohawk can just like
Yes.
Just grows out.
the
It's a
top of it.
grow hawk.
Don't forget the stampede string. You got to have that.
It's too much.
Stampede string. That's the title right there. Alrighty then. So,
Oh,
Mike,
well, moving
Javelin
along.
Fang's Sam's head looks normal size now because you can only see half of it. The rest of it is camouflaged.
exactly.
It works.
Now it's proportional.
yeah. Like when he takes that
floating
off and
face.
it's just like plump, plump. It's like girls that get boob jobs. He's just running around knocking his head into shit because he's not used to the size.
I've had it for a while. I'm used to it by now. It's just not used to realizing how big it is. Look, I know.
Are we
you're
talking
jealous.
about your
More
head or your
brain,
ego?
More brain, more tactics, more smarts. I get it. You're jealous. It's all right.
¿Por qué no
I'm
los dos?
jealous. You're jelly.
All right. So anyway, if somebody's
Jelly beans?
yes,
Is it just jelly beans up there?
Ooh, I like jelly beans.
ooh, I would actually be okay with that if I had like a little, place to put them, like a little
Black
drawer.
licorice only.
Dave, what's wrong with you?
They're the only jelly bean.
Those
They're
are good for your stomach.
So, Dave, let's talk about something that's
I
not
didn't-
disgusting.
Vomiting is good for your stomach. I didn't know that. All right.
Ooh, we can talk about vomiting too.
could
It goes
be.
hand in hand. Let's talk about how I'm going to get drunk and spend way too much money again in November.
Yeah. Well, you can do that.
This time you can get
Absolutely
a
in
Maverick
November.
88.
You can do that in November. That is no problem. But if you want to go to Pheasants Forever, that is in October this year.
Oh. It-
Yeah.
You
October
pulled a
5th.
fast one on me. You did it
Well-
October and then November and then October.
Well, we usually do it opening of antelope season, but last year we decided to do opening of pheasant season because, Pheasants Forever. And we didn't have quite the turnout. We get a lot of people from out of town, like coming down here to hunt antelope, and it's a good time.
Yeah,
So,
I
October
noticed
5th.
the hats didn't go for as much as they did the year before. Is that why?
I mean,
Makes
they
sense.
still went pretty good, but I don't know how you ended up with the highest hat. But
I don't think I don't remember being. It wasn't even that much. It was like
He
the
doesn't
highest by
remember it.
$60 if it was.
The little blue hat with a white line going, I'm so high right now.
Am I to understand that that's a Towley hat?
well,
Anyway, continue.
yes,
Yes.
lots of suppressors this year. Actually, you remember the banners that we did last year?
Yeah.
So we
The
do
Shield
this.
banners.
Yeah, we do this this thing at our Pheasants Forever banquet where we'll raffle off like a deck of cards. Like you'll cut a deck of cards in half, and people will buy a card, and then once all the cards are sold, then we'll draw out of a hat, and whichever like price those cards were, whether they were $10 or $20, if you want it, you could pick anything you wanted off of that banner. And I think there was like 4 or 5 guns. There was a scope. There was a Garmin watch. There was like a dog kennel, $1,000 Shields gift card, that kind of shit. Well, this year we're doing the same thing, but with 2 more banners, and they're going to be banners that we have ourselves, and on those banners are going to be suppressors. So there's going to be like a $1,000 suppressor on one, and then a $500 suppressor on another, and we'll have like the problem we ran into with last year with Shields was since we did it on the same day as every other Pheasants Forever banquet, Shields ran out of shit pretty quick, and so everything was back. Like people still got their stuff, but I mean they ordered a 4570 that took a month to come in, and it was like, oh,
And
But
while your
we're gonna
internet
have,
evens out, when is this again?
October 5th, I believe he said. So
October 5th.
last year they did it on Veterans Day, and so I remembered it. The first year I went, it was 2 years ago, and they did it in October. I remembered, but then the next year they did it on Veterans Day. So I was like, that's interesting. Makes a lot more sense that it's on antelope, the beginning of antelope season, coinciding with antelope touristies. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And
Yeah,
you feed them a
we're,
bunch of beer and make them spend money too.
yeah, and I'm actually needing ideas for kids' prizes. We're not going to go as crazy as we have in years past. We want to do fewer prizes, but better prizes, I guess you could say.
Just rolls and
And-
rolls of black cats.
In 1885,
Yeah.
Martini Henry.
We can't have black cats here in stupid Colorado. But we're
Free men don't ask permission. They just dropped in Wyoming.
we're gonna do. I don't know what big like kids gun we're gonna do this year.
Well, I gave you a suggestion.
or no, we're thinking a 20 gauge over and under shotgun.
That would be cool. I want to hear what Sam's suggestion was, though.
Here's an 1885 Martini Henry.
Ooh.
They can LARP Michael Caine and Zulu. Like I'd do that all day long, man.
Fuck yes, dude.
That's like my dream gun right there. One of them. Well, because the 1885 is a long lever, not the short lever, so it wouldn't technically be the right one, but it's a lot easier to get your mitts on a long lever, which is likely to not explode in your face. Or you can buy them for like $400 out of some basement in Nepal, but they're really, really rusted, and I don't feel like going through all the steps to like try and restore a wall hanger because I'm lazy.
$400 seems like it'll work for the kids' prize, Dave.
Here you go, child. Here's a project for the next decade. Have fun.
Here's a complimentary bluing kit.
Jokes
It's
on
not
the rest
right.
of us. They give it to a Sam, and this particular child spends the next 15 years restoring this rifle to near perfect condition, brings it back, and says, "Look what I did," and we're just all like, flabbergasted.
It took you
It's
long
not-
enough, little shit.
It's not rust, it's a patina.
I've sanded it down, and now it's smooth. It'll be fine.
So we're gonna do I think we're gonna do a 20 gauge over and under as like the big kids gun, and then or the big prize. Then we're gonna do like a pellet gun or a BB gun, And then thinking like a hunting pack like we have before. I just don't know what else. Like a pair of binoculars, maybe? Something? I don't know.
Honestly, binocular.
Or are you looking for input?
Let's see. For
Oh, binos, a little bino chest harness.
Maybe
Give
a
'em little
rangefinder.
give them a little. Oh, rangefinder's a
Ooh,
good
little
idea.
rangefinder.
I'm just thinking of like a setup of like my first thing my brain went to is like a setup that I have on like or what I see a lot of on like chest packs, which you get your binos, you might have a rangefinder, you got your little wind snuffer in there, get a little knife, maybe a knife, depending on what age of kids it is.
duck calls, get them.
And then mislabel them as elk calls.
Yes. Duck calls was half joking, half serious.
I won some I won some turkey calls one time, and my parents tried everything they could to find them bastards because I just walk around the house blowing turkey calls.
That's so wrong.
Well, that'll be fun. October 5th. Wonder if I can make it down this year.
Open
I have
bar.
not. Once we get to over the counter, I got to see what season I'm going to go in for. Or second season. What's rifle season usually run around here again? I can't remember.
Second season is
End of
late
October, end of November.
Yeah. Because
What's
fourth
first
season's
rifle?
October
end of
26th.
November.
October 26th is second rifle. For elk, anyway. Because that was the tag. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. I got an email from CPW saying that I could have the tag that I put in for
Oh yeah.
during the draw because I was second place. And then I'm like, well, fuck me because I have done made plans already. So I think I'm going to pass on it.
Oh no.
I am very confused right now because you're right. All right, so Black Bear first rifle season is September 2nd to 30th, and then second is October 26th to November 3rd. So what in the middle? Are we just letting them have a break?
Kinda.
No, it may skip around for like first season elk.
No, they're like union. You got to give them a break.
Mm-hmm.
It's in their contract.
I think that might mess up some
Union
of my
bears.
plans. I was planning on doing that.
Bunch of bears out there just smoking by the trees.
And they still ought to be in hyperphagia by the time end of October gets here. Because I really don't want to stack that hunt like I did last year right up against like come back from elk hunting, go to work for 2 weeks, get off for another week. I was trying to string it. God, somebody just hit
Sorry.
something. I was
That
trying
was
to
my
string
knee
it out
on
a
the
little
thing
bit.
that holds my mic. I apologize.
That's fine. I do it with mine all the time. I was trying to string it out a little bit longer and break it up, but anyway.
Yeah, things are looking real packed the next several months, and it's getting kind of concerning.
I think I'll still go second season on the bear tag just because why
Bye,
not?
Dave.
Bye, Dave.
Oh no.
I'll wear my helmet to protect me from the elk hunters. I wonder what distance, Vince and I were talking about this before the show briefly. I wonder what distance I would have to be at to be saved from a 30-06 with a helmet that's designed to catch pistol and frag.
I have a 30-06 and I have an ACH. Maybe one day when I get a new modern helmet that doesn't suck, we can test this.
Doesn't suck. You got to do the pads different. Anyway.
It honestly doesn't suck. I wore the old frag helmets before the ACH came out, and God, those actually sucked.
Oh, the Pasget with the leather headband and then the paracord over your head.
Would it
Like a little
be
tactical yarmulke?
would it be disrespectful if after you shoot the bear, you put the helmet on the bear
No.
and then step back to 400 yards and then shoot the helmet
So the problem
just
with that,
to see?
I want the skull intact, and CPW wants the skull intact too.
To answer your question, the helmets with the yarmulkes inside, yes.
Yes, that's a Pasget. I have one of those. You just got to redo that. If you redo the suspension inside with the upgrade kit, they're not too bad.
Oh, I'm sure, but the military was too cheap.
Well, the old
for
one
that at
sucks.
that point.
The old one sucks. Anyway, moving on.
So, Dave, What else are you
Are
going to
you
have
alive?
for?
Mhm.
Okay, you're back. Yay! What else are you going to have for the
Yes.
banquet?
The banquet.
Yes.
We're having 8 guns, 8 hat guns this year. Then we got some raffles and that kind of stuff.
Nice.
And the
Wow.
damn fucking stupid
AI is taking over, Dave.
goddamn internet.
The internet is not for
So-
Dave.
Well, let's give it a moment. to let your
am I-
internet- Oh wait, now are you back?
Am good.
I'm good.
Go, Dave, quickly before you die.
Eight
Am
hat
delayed.
guns go.
Okay, so yes, we raffle off or we sell hats, and each hat is covered with a bottle of cheer. So all along with it
It's coming with a bottle
I heard a bottle of cheer.
of
bourbon. He's glitching out kind of bad.
Bourbon.
If I
Well,
win,
I'm
can I
gonna be
swap
right
it
the
out
fuck
for-
back.
Okay.
I
So-
hope if I go down there and I win, they'll let me swap out the bourbon for vodka, or at least I'll trade somebody. Or
While
gin.
he's on it, or was on it, I'll explain the hat guns because that's how I got my Rite, or Rite. I don't know how you want to say Rite. Anyway, that's how
Just
I got
like
it.
that, you are contractually required now to say "Ritai" every time, or I'm going to kick you off the stream.
If
I
any
got
of
my
us ever has-
Rite.
if any of us ever has a shrimp boat, we need to name it Retie.
I can only think of one name, Rite. That's how I got my shotgun. It was a hat gun. So what they do is they have 8 to 10 to 12. Sometimes it depends. Hats, like actual baseball trucker hats, and what they do is they auction off the hat, and you know that each hat wins a gun, right? So if you have 8 hats, there's 8 equivalent guns. Whoever wins each hat wins a gun. I don't have to explain the rest of that. The guns, the lowest last year, I believe, was a 22 mag pistol, Taurus maybe. And the most expensive, the good prize, was a Christensen Arms 28 Nosler, which is actually hilarious because that was the genuinely very same rifle that Fish Squeezer won at a CPW raffle, and then I'll let him tell the story another time, but he's not a fan of that rifle, and I'll let him tell you why later. But
I don't know why.
yeah, I think you do too. But it'd be fun. It'd be a fun story for him to share with us. So I'll let him share it. But yeah, that Christensen, I believe, is worth $2,800 or $3,000 at this point. So the most expensive hat went for like $1,060, I think, and I do believe Dave mentioned. That could have been right. I think I did pay the most for the
It was the last
year.
hat, I think.
Yeah. No, they went between 900 and 1060. They were all in that range anyway, so
Usually
solid.
they're up there. Like a low one's about 950. Usually
Yeah.
they're between 1300.
Tumbles up to the table and slaps his wall down. Give me that one.
Yeah.
Right.
So I didn't finish that. The hat at the end of the night. Sorry, at the end of the night they bring up all the hat people after everything else is auctioned off and sold. They bring all the hat people up, and they put your hat on your head, and you go through and you draw a card, or you draw a number, or you draw something that indicates what gun you get. And
That sounds really sinister.
it is.
It's like
so
who
the
was
guy that
auctioning-
runs it,
hat
he's the
people were
auctioneer too. He
auctioning
does
me.
the same thing with the goddamn playing cards. He'd be like, "All right, if you got a red card, anybody with a red card,
Sit down."
stand up.
Yeah.
You're still in.
I'm
got a
still
black
on
card,
hat
sit down."
people.
He
that's
does that
hat
shit with the
people.
hat. So he's like, "All right, if you got a number between, we're doing the Christensen Arms right now. If your number is between like 1 and 3, you didn't win. Sit down." He's actually quite predictable, but then he'll throw you for a loop. He'll be like, 1 through 3, you're still in it. Stay standing. Everybody else sit down. It's actually a lot of fun. He makes it a lot of fun. He genuinely makes the entire experience.
The hat people mostly come out at night.
Mostly.
True. And he is also the same guy, the very first one we went to. Ella was running around like barely 4 years old, just Lou, 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 doing 4-year-old Ella things. And she runs up to him while he's doing one of the playing cards. And she pulls out a playing card, hands it to him. And it turned out to be Dave's card. And Dave won a damn gun because of my child.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. So, yeah.
She didn't win me one last year, little shit.
Right? She was too busy playing, or I don't know.
Vince.
She had to manage expectations.
True.
Vince.
Yes.
It's also open bar.
Yes. It's worth the drive.
Okay, so you're
Poor
7
dude.
hour and 20 minutes away.
We have a brand new hotel.
It's actually
It's
pretty
rather
nice.
nice.
It's actually, I was going to avoid the new hotel out of spite, but now I just won't stay anywhere else because honestly, the other hotels, one, they're jacking their rates. Used to be $60, now they're $80 a night. Two, they're cute little like roadside Motel 6, or not Motel 6, Route 66 quirky motels, but with a brand new hotel in town, and it's got a pool. Like, fuck them places.
Oh, well,
Okay.
that's a Saturday. That ain't happening.
It does
Anyway.
not have a pool.
It does not have a pool? I thought it had pool.
No, we have a community pool, and that shuts down this week.
Well, in any case, it's still nicer. It's funny you mentioned that in the chat. So Javelin Fangs in the chat says, Lou, 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 something up, something apples. Lou, 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 want a gun. So Sam says Mike's kid is Butters. It's funny you mentioned that, Sam, because when I was in my 20s, I had a very good friend who later passed away. Her name was Paige, and she and her friend Amanda called me Butters. Every time we hung out, they called me Butters, and they claimed
That checks out.
it was not because of the character on
Oh,
South Park.
Oh, sure.
And when I told my mom that, I showed my mom a picture of the character and how he acted and whatnot, and she was like, yeah, they totally will do
she's
that
like,
because
oh boy, we got to make some changes to this kid.
I was in my 20s. It was too late. Her job was done. Don't give me that face.
This is
Mushroom
just
hat.
lining up with another story that you should have been too old to tell that we heard earlier tonight. But moving on.
It was so scary.
All
I'm
right.
going to tell it. We were talking about sleep paralysis monsters. And Mike starts telling us about his. And it's from a movie. And we all know when the movie came out, and we're like, wait a minute. This doesn't add up because that didn't come out till you were like an adult.
Yeah.
You realize, of course, sleep paralysis and having a monster or some sort of other terrifying presence or entity or anything in that sleep paralysis happens to adults as well. Yes? It's
Yes,
not a
it has.
child-specific thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
never
sure
had-
you
I've
don't.
never
You're
had the
giggling like
monster.
an idiot, mushroom hat.
Well, Javelin Fang says, do the hat people and the mushroom people have beef? And my answer to you is yes. We have generational hatred of the hat people. The hat
Combine-
people took our land.
Combine the
hat
mushroom
people
people with the beef, and
slaughtered
you've
our
got a
cattle.
steak.
The hat people. I am Maximus Decimus Mushroomius.
You could have just called yourself Mushroomius Decimus, and we would have gotten it. But moving on. Thank you, Kaylani. I appreciate the.
She says,
Don't
look
make
out,
him
thinking
feel
out for
better.
you.
Yes, I appreciate you making me feel better, even slightly.
all right.
As much as I deserve the good-natured ribbing.
Mushroom people, new sleep paralysis monster.
That's too long for a show title.
No, but mushroom
Mike's gonna-
people is the show title.
Mike's going to fake wake up in the middle of the night, and Sam's going to be standing in his door with a helmet on.
Wearing a hood.
Sam's like, my time
Oh,
has
so it's
come.
even bigger.
I'm going to tell the story. The
gonna
one
look like
time I had
Lord
sleep
Helmet.
paralysis, I had a ring
Lord
wraith
Helmet,
in my bedroom door. And
Whatever.
So yeah, it was fun. And yes, the ring wraiths are from Lord of the Rings. Yes, Lord of the Rings came out in theaters when I was 18 years old. Yes, I
Oh.
could still have sleep paralysis inhabited by ring wraiths at above 18 years old, you dickbag.
You could have salvaged the story
I
by
mean-
saying, "No, it was when I was a kid and I read the book."
I don't
And
care
then we
about
would have
that.
been like,
Also-
"Oh, okay, cool."
You
Hey,
were
that
also
would've-
afraid of curious cows.
Bitch. They weren't curious. They were being driven off by assholes.
They were hunting me.
They were man eaters.
Sorry,
God,
Vince.
I
Go.
wish they were at this point.
They were
Fucking
coming
put me
right
out of
for
my
me.
misery. You guys, I would have actually gotten eaten by cows, and you guys would still be making fun of me like
Remember-
that motherfucker got eaten by cows.
Oh yeah,
If you ever-
we'd never
Um,
we would
yeah.
come by your headstone and etch that in underneath your name.
If you ever
200
feel
years from
threatened,
now.
Yes.
if you ever feel threatened by cows, just wave a white bag at them. They'll run away.
Oh yeah, big time.
Unzips pants.
It's like
Moving
whenever we
on.
put a new fence in Rush, we'd type plastic or pieces of sheets on all the fence things. That way it'd scare all the cows off so they'd learn where the fence was. Works on horses too, because horses are stupid.
Yeah, horses are retarded.
Oh, when
A horse is a horse, of course, of
We're
course.
going so down stupid derailments right now. But when we were on my when I was on my honeymoon with my wife, hopefully it was with my wife anyway.
Quite a derailment.
We're basically horseback riding place up in Kremling, and but it was like open range one, so not like nose to tip. It was like go ride the damn horse. Anyway, this one-eyed damn horse I'm riding named Scooter ran me into a tree because Scooter decided he didn't like that bush over there. So he goes, all the other horses go this way, and Scooter, who I guess that was his blind, I think though, right eye. So he went the direction he couldn't see. Went, I don't like that. Took me through a tree and ripped my shirt open. It's like you
Scooter was scooting.
horse.
Scooter,
I
no!
I don't think so, Scooter.
His
I
right
spy
eye
with
scooter,
my little eye. Fuck that!
his
Go,
right
Vince.
eye scooter, his left eye scooted.
Too bad his name wasn't Lucky.
Not quite. All right. Anyway, sorry.
So anyway,
So night
Dave, anything-
terrors, hunting
Yeah,
cows.
moving on from night
Cows
terrors and
hunting
hunting
you.
cows. Anything else to say about Pheasants Forever and your amazing banquet? I will absolutely be attending.
Yeah, no. We're gonna have another meeting coming up here in the next month or so, and we'll talk like final pricing and shit, and get a hold of some people. So,
How's your coyote problem down there that time of year?
it is increasing. Like they're starting to howl again now. So,
'Cause I'm thinking we can go down there a day early.
studio pew pew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good idea. I'm willing to take
Mhm.
off work and do
Javelin
that.
Fangs, he fell off a horse once, but he doesn't blame Scooter.
Hmm?
Is his name.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
As
yeah.
long as he got back on.
Ring wraiths forever. Anyway,
Yeah. So,
Vince, what you been up to?
I've been getting hot.
Okay, Mike, what you been up
fucking
to?
same.
So we went to I about 2 weeks ago I took Ella camping up at Terriel Reservoir. I'd been real curious about ducks up there. I'd been curious about camping up there. So we head on up, and everything I read online was like, yeah, fires allowed, campfires are fine, et cetera, et cetera.
And not right now,
so-
they're not.
Yeah. So I go up there, and I planned on camping on the west side of the lake, and that was where I was told that's where the people don't go. Turns out, one, you can't even camp on that side of the lake. Two, there's very few parking spots because everybody fishes on that side of the lake. So we went to the other side, and I was just like hoping to salvage somehow this camping trip, because if we couldn't camp at this lake, I wasn't really sure what we were going to do. I would have figured something out. Maybe driven up to 11 Mile and just gotten a reservation from the state park on the way or whatever. But
No campfire sucks.
it did. Exactly.
I canceled my bachelor party trip, which was supposed to be camping overnight a couple of days because there was a fire ban. And so instead we got drunk and wandered around the park for a while with
That
big
doesn't.
Red Rock Park in the Springs.
Oh yeah.
Bad place to wander around drunk because there's a lot of really big things to fall off of because it's an old quarry. But we all lived.
Yeah, lucky you. Yeah, they it just tried to salvage it. Went to the other side. There were people. I could see trailers over there. I couldn't see any tents, but we went over there anyway. And turns out, yes, you can camp over there. No, you can still. It's like the Terrial State Wildlife Area rules. You can't. There are no campfires in the State Wildlife Area. So that really sucked. On the other hand, I planned for stuff like that. I always do, and we still had food to eat. It wasn't the chicken that I had planned on making over a fire, but we made do.
Raw chicken
Yeah.
out of the cooler.
Like,
Hey guys, I just made the best medium rare chicken. Oh my god, so bon appetit.
you're like, hey kid, this is gonna make you stronger. Eat it.
What doesn't kill you?
It's gonna make you lighter.
That's true also.
Yeah, screw all the fancy new weight loss drugs, man. Just eat you about a pound of raw chicken. That'll do it.
Moving on. There were
Well,
lots
it's
of
like
raw
oyster
birds there.
shooters, man. You know how raw chicken's kind of slimy? Just do it like an oyster shooter. Just get it over with. Just
You know what? Smother it in barbecue sauce. I could actually be on board with that. Just barbecue or honey
chicken-
mustard. Bloop.
it's
Slide
chicken.
it on down.
It's chicken Rockefeller.
Show the title.
Hey, it looks like a slug coming back up.
So we did the fishing thing at Terrial again, and again, we're still really bad at fishing. Other people were out there catching fish left and right. We didn't catch any fish. The other people were out there in waders about 10, 15 yards into the water also. So maybe next time I get some warm weather waders and try it. But, that's down the road. We'll see. What there was a ton of was geese. Tons of geese, tons of seagulls, tons of pelicans. There might have been a few crane. I'm not sure what they were. And there was a couple flocks of ducks.
Okay.
So as the sun was going down, we were laying in bed waiting to fall asleep, and I could hear all the birds just chattering amongst themselves as the sun was going down, and I heard the quack 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 quack. It got my heart like my heart was like, oh, it's almost time. It's almost time for ducks.
Did you bring a shotgun?
No.
That's good.
I know.
All right, so guys, Mike's not on this episode of Let's Go Hunt because he's currently sitting in county jail. I don't know.
It was a free bird. It was my free bird.
I get one free bird. I get one free bird.
It
I'm
was
sorry.
literally
I thought
screaming,
this was America.
literally blasting Leonard Skinner's Freebird out the Prado as they're chasing me down the highway.
Chasing you?
my ass.
It's gonna be like the OJ chase, man, and the white Bronco. Except
They're
with
just
Mike
following.
And Prado.
Except they're on bicycles because the Prado can't go very fast. And
You
they're
go
just like,
uphill
dude,
and they
stop.
just envelop you.
It's like the OJ chase. It's like 45 miles an hour.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
fast.
So fast. Speaking of enveloping, we got enveloped by mosquitoes, so that was awful. I searched the truck for mosquito or bug repellent. Turns out that's the one thing I've never actually been smart enough to buy. So I bought a 4-pack on Amazon when we got home, and they're all in there. It's not happening again.
You tuck that. You put one can each in each door pocket, man. Like because they get lost at some point, and you.
That's solid. That's a really solid idea. All 4 of them are in the box in the back, but one in door pocket. One in
That's
each
one
pocket.
thing-
That's a great idea.
Nice about when it's really hot and sunny out, the mosquitoes go away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, they have sense. We don't.
Yeah.
They also went away when like there was about an hour and a half, 2 hours period when there was some pretty strong wind blowing in, and they had enough sense to go not be in the wind and get blown into Kansas.
So Javelin Fangs says Pickeridan is king, and that is he lives in Florida where mosquitoes are about yay big. So definitely
That's
look
a
at him.
state bird in Florida.
Yeah.
The season
saw
opens
this video.
September 1st and runs through October 31st.
We talk about hunting pterodactyls as being fun down in Florida. They hunt giant mosquitoes.
One of my first TDYs was to Eielson Air Force Base, and as we were checking into our hotel at like 10:30 at night with the sun still shining brightly in the sky, we were getting attacked by hordes of giant mosquitoes, and I'm looking around going, this must be where these F-16s that are stationed up here get their air-to-air training. So then one lands on my friend's face, and it's just like, and he's just like, la 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 la, didn't even notice. So I reach up and I go, and he turns around looking to fight, and I was like, dude, you were about to get carried off. And this other guy was like, he's right, man. There was a huge one on the side of your face. He saved your life. And he's like, oh, thanks, dude.
I wonder if you
Start
could get a
sucking the blood.
swarm. I wonder if you could get a swarm of mosquitoes to register on radar.
God, I hope not.
If you packed them tight enough and got enough of them, yeah, they'd give a return of some kind.
Earlier this year, they saw dragonflies on radar coming down this way.
Damn.
Nice.
The old migration. Some bitches are everywhere.
I want to see the spiders on radar. Spider.
Well, you can't see them on radar, but you can see them crossing the road.
It wasn't a very good joke. I apologize.
The great Colorado tarantula migration.
Spider.
I've seen a couple, but it wasn't as I didn't come in peak season. That we're going to be in a little more peakish season this year, aren't we, Dave?
It'd be pretty close. It'd be right in there.
For the banquet.
Yeah.
Why? Do you want to eat one?
No, I want to pull over to the side of the road, get my daughter out of the truck, and make her look at a giant spider that's walking across the road looking for love.
All the wrong places.
You're definitely
oh
on
my
the
God,
wrong.
I was about to say that, Fitz.
Do you know how many get squished and they're just like?
Well, yeah.
I love it.
It's evolution. It's like the sea turtles. Only spiders.
That's slightly worse survival chances.
Yeah, I've never seen an F-150 swoop down and pick up a sea turtle.
You're about to. Where's your speech?
That'd be one of those crazy sea turtle videos where people are like helping him to the water, but just like Sam barrels through there in his Silverado.
You get one of those.
Blaring Freebird.
We've got one of those little extendo grabby arm things that old people use. You know, like the.
And also me.
So you just lean out the window and.
Oh,
My
man.
manager
The
at
amount
Jimmy
of-
John's bought me one of those because I couldn't bend over very good. I used it to pick up trash quite well. I wish I was kidding. I really do.
He said, "Bend over."
Yeah, that's why.
That's what you're giggling at?
We are simple-minded people.
Goddamn children is what you are.
We enjoy peanuts, peanut butter,
Yeah.
and jelly.
We're simple. Like, we will get entertained from throwing something off someplace really high. Just to watch
I mean,
it
who-
hit the ground.
Who doesn't
With
love
what?
watching giant things? Like,
Women.
how ridiculous is the greatest thing on earth because they do exactly that. And you just watch them for hours.
Anyway,
So anyway, that was Terriall. This we did that. I don't remember the day after. Anyway, we also went to Buena Vista. They have a great public
Good.
range there. Goes out to 600 yards, and I brought the SIG 556, brought the GLFA 30-06 AR, brought the Sauer, my hunting rifle, and a Remington 700 I haven't shot in years. I'll save you the boring part. The Remington 700 remains unshot after years. Just didn't get to it. Whatever. Shot the GLFA to 4 and 500 pretty solidly. I'm pretty
Did you
happy
scare
about
the fuck
hits.
out of everybody on the range with it?
No, because I put the can on it.
Oh, you
Yeah.
should have just open blasted that bitch. Everybody's like, "What the fuck?"
It's only a
Dude,
30
you can
Yeah, it's not that big.
if you put a 4.4 brake on a 5.56, it will like get people's attention.
I would like to put a Loudener on it and see what happens, just for fun.
I have a
It'd be
4-port
terrible.
I have a 4-port brake on my 300 win bag.
So good.
I don't want to be in the same county with you whenever you touch one of those off.
I have yet to shoot it without ears.
You could go jump out of the car and like, I'll stay here.
So on my first Afghanistan deployment, I got to the privilege of seeing an afterburner run from an F-15E Strike Eagle from basically below its tail hook.
And that's why you can't hear shit
and-
anymore.
Yeah, basically. And noise like that makes you wish you had triple EPs.
But your hearing loss
they
is not
don't-
service related.
Right. That makes me think of the very same thing. Makes you wish you had triple EPs. Anyway, there was this guy, he came wandering over. He was like, of course, he sees this giant rifle and he's like, what you got there? And I was like, it's a 30-06 AR. And he's like, neat. So he fanboyed a little bit over it. He was actually really new to shooting, so I let him shoot a mag out of it. He didn't really know
Careful.
too much.
Those mags are $90. Don't break it.
I mean, it's pretty solid aluminum. You'd have to... I'm trying to figure out a way to break one of them because that's why I got
Follower.
two, so I could try to break one.
The follower. That's the weak
Oh,
spot.
yeah.
It's 3D
You're-
printed.
Yeah, you're right. My shots out to 400 were all pretty solid. Shooting at some steel that CPW has set up out there. And all of it was painted black. My hits were very clear silver, and they were
That's
all in
because it was set up by cops.
Fair.
Oh, that's
That's
sad.
accurate.
Hear that, Jeff?
Damn.
He's talking about you. I feel pretty solid about shooting to 400 at this point with that rifle. 500 still a little iffy, but still working on it. Shot 5 rounds out of the sour, and my shoulder had had enough. So we went and I did drills with the 5.56. I got Ella to fire 1 or 2. It was 2 rounds, 1 on film. She shot the 5.56, and instead of crying about it, she looked up at me and went, "Wow." Tiny little, intermediate cartridge, but she's 6, so it she doesn't know how to hold it solidly, so you make your body absorb the recoil, so it just like punched her in the chest.
Check the private
was-
chat when you get a chance. There's a joke there that I'm not saying on air.
I'll see it.
But
No,
anyway.
I'm kidding.
Let me say it, Dave. You my guess.
Jesus. Oh my god, I'm going back
There's
to
a
the
brand new
comments.
there's a brand new REI ad out there, and you might be able to take what I previously joked about and the new REI ad and put them together. But you're on your own with that one, kids.
Anyway.
Or if you're in the We Like Shooting Discord chat later, Dusky, I'll tell you it. But anyway.
She also had a blast shooting the 1022 and her little Savage Rascal. I got her a couple of years ago for her 4th birthday. She's finally old enough to, like... I thought she was at 4, but really that was just wishful thinking. Now she's starting to get it. She's starting to understand and, like, listen to direction and also at the same time actually have fun with it. So it's really exciting as a parent to watch.
Don't point it at me. Don't point it at Stop pointing it at me.
She did really, really good with pointing, and finger off the trigger was what I said most. But I'm guessing I know what yours is.
Oh, whatever.
Is-
I've started my daughter here recently on a little single shot airsoft gun, a little Springer.
Nice.
So
How's she doing?
I mean, good. I mean, I gotta sit there. It's like build your little grip and point it on out there. And she goes, "Okay." Now aim, use aim, aim, aim. There you go. And then, it's a target that's like 10 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
it's fine. She just was like really wanting to go shoot stuff. So it's like, all right, fine, we'll do this.
We put so the rear sight on her Savage Rascal, it's a little single shot 22. The rear sight was a peep sight, and it was held on with a nut on this little thing, this little mount.
Mhm.
Well, the nut fell off, so the rear sight fell off, and so I was like, oh, I'll just screw it back on. Didn't realize there was a nut. Went to put it in, it fell out again, and I was like, oh, okay, there's a nut. Got it. So I looked through it, and the mount for it is just basically like this little rectangle, and then you put the peep sight through it and then screw the nut on the back. And I was like, you know what? You could actually, this is pretty solid sight training for her. Like, it's a big window. She can understand centering the front sight in the window. She's not hunting for it. She's not trying to peer through a pinhole. It worked really well. Like, I'm pretty impressed with the complete failure of a sight actually working well for a training tool.
Cool.
Javelin Fang said he saw the videos on wherever I posted them. I don't remember at this point. I'm too tired.
No, I mean, I think Grace will get started probably on her first little, well, I might just have her start shooting my 1022. Because I can just stock on that nice and short for her, but it'll probably start on that here once she hits a little over 5. But we'll see. Again, it's a lot of it's just, that's the reason I started her on a little airsoft pistol, is just to see how well she handles this and how seriously she takes it before I put anything, legit in her hands.
A big part of seeing how seriously she took it was I had her doing dry fires with it with 22 dummy shells, and she learned. That was a great way to teach her how to learn to teach her to how to learn. No, it was a great way to teach her to load and work the bolt, work the safety, do all that without using live ammo, without introducing the dangerous part. So I liked that. I liked the Rascal for that. However, I still would kind of say that I think it was not really necessary. We could have just started her on the 1022 at about 6 years old and been fine. And just, kept working with little rifles and, here's gun safety. Don't. But at the same time, she has her own little gun. It's her own little pink gun. She loves her pink gun, and it gets her excited about it. So that's important too.
I think a little bolt action like that is a excellent starting place for kids. That way they don't just jump into a 1022 and burn it to the ground every time they get up to fire. It's like, okay, now you have an appreciation for semi-auto.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it was getting dirty, if the extractor is getting dirty or what, but it stopped extracting shells out, and I had to start pulling each fired shell out with my knife. So
what ammo were you shooting?
It were that black box of Remington, I believe. Black box that comes in like 555.
Remington's probably so my 1022 can be a little finicky. Not my 1022, my 1522. M&P Sport 1522. That thing can be really finicky on some ammo, and Remington. Every Remington 22 I've ever tried to put through it was just garbage.
Okay. Maybe I'll try some CCIs if I have better shot or better luck, because I have CCIs sitting around too.
My Smith & Wesson has been really reliable with anything. The only time I had problems was when I tried to put a light trigger spring in it to give it a nice little trigger pull, and it wouldn't detonate most rounds. So I just went back to the normal weight trigger spring. But my Smith & Wesson has been good. In fact, I discovered that with a suppressor on it, it will cycle CCI standard velocity and their subsonic.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah, mine will cycle standard velocity, not too bad, but the subs are fun though. You just got to put your thumb on the bolt so it doesn't go clack.
Yeah, even when it does go clack, it's like
Oh, the clack is the bolt running is a hell of a lot louder than the round going down.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
fun.
That's not the case for my little 22 revolver, though. They're still pretty loud.
Yeah, they're kind of snappy.
Yeah, that's on a revolver.
My
This is
father-in-law,
Go, Dave.
we got my father-in-law Henry lever gun in 22 one year for Christmas, and I bought some subsonic CCI 22 to shoot through it. And son of a bitch, that thing is quiet.
Hmm.
It's awesome.
Well, speaking of awesome, I have an update on the Prado. It turns out that it's hot outside. So,
Did you fix your AC?
oh yeah,
Bastard.
I saw that
Fucker.
the pump was, or the condenser was going. God damn it, compressor was going out, about to seize. So I ordered one. You'll never guess where I found the part for the best price.
Japan.
No,
AutoZone.
Timu.
The Sudan.
it's close to AutoZone, but
O'Reilly's.
only in words.
Amazon.
Yes,
Oh,
I found
wanted
an
to be
air
wrong.
conditioner. No, I found it. Apparently, it's a pretty common part for Toyotas, and on most of the websites, it was $500-600, and it was $300 on Amazon. So I'll probably be replacing it in another year or two, but that's fine. Anyway, so yes, the air conditioner works. When I took the child camping at Terrial and a while back at 11 Mile a few months ago, the sun was really. I wished I had some place to escape the sun that wasn't a hot tent, and made me think about all these awnings that I see on these overland rigs. So I got one. I got it from Ironman 4x4, and it's a 4.6 foot. Attached it to the roof rack, and I have yet to actually try it out in the wild. So we're gonna go do that this weekend.
That's not bought a camo net for. I just got to get the poles for it.
Oh, I had to remount the
Not
side
this
lights.
A real net, not this Chinese nonsense behind me.
Yeah, well, your Chinese nonsense blends in with your American nonsense hat really well. It's kind of creepy.
Wait, how big is this awning again?
Yeah.
It's a 4.6 foot long. So as it sits mounted on the roof, from nose to tail, it's 4.6 feet.
Okay.
How
and
far
far
does it come out?
I think 6 feet.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
It looks way bigger in pictures.
It really does.
That's what she said.
It's
That's also what he said.
That was a slow pitch.
that
Right over
descended
home plate.
rapidly.
Hey, but we still got it in.
Yeah, I have yet to try it out. We're gonna go try it out. Taking her to 11 Mile this weekend. I had to remount the side lights. If you haven't seen any pictures of it, I have a basket on the roof that has lights on all four corners. So I have one pointed to the rear for lighting up, when I have set up camp that way or whatever. 2 spots on either side to help set up camp or see whatever, and then front mounted driving lights on the front. So when I mounted the awning, obviously the lights where I mounted it, they were pointed directly at the awning, and they would have done absolutely no good. So I had to remount them strategically in order to get them to point underneath the awning. So I'm looking forward and not looking forward to seeing how big of a failure that was. It looks like they should work, but you never know with light. They could cast a shadow.
Have you considered rolling the awning out in your driveway to see if it casts a shadow?
I mean, I could just go downstairs and turn them on right now and see, because I don't have to extend it. It'll just, they're already pointing underneath it a little bit.
Yeah, no. Anyway.
But yeah, I've thought about it. I just haven't made it outside to go push the button because I'm lazy.
You're going to unfurl that awning somewhere like 11 Mile, and the wind is going to roll your Prado over. It's going to catch that sail and just go whoop.
And I'll be like, oh, now it's a lean-to.
It's not self-supporting, is it?
What do you mean?
Like you can't just pull it out from the little case thing and it just stays there. You got to actually stake it to the ground.
It comes out. It's got two little dangly doos, and then
It's
I
got
think you have
legs.
to stake. Yeah, it's
Okay,
got
yeah.
legs, and I think you
Okay.
have to stake the legs to the ground if you don't want the wind flipping your light SUV over.
Not like a camper awning.
Right. It's not one of those like with the arms on the sides that goes.
Mm-hmm.
No, I unzip it, unfurl it, put the legs out. Think much more like those beach tents or something like that, but without the pyramid in it.
Gazebo.
And yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, the beach gazebos. But instead
Just
of
half
two
of
legs
one.
on one side, it's attached to the basket of a never been overlanding rig.
All right.
I
Well,
really hope
so-
it rains and puddles a bunch of water in that, and then your kid pushes it up while you're walking by the end of it. Drenches your ass.
It's funny you mention that, and not that has happened, but
Yeah.
that actually brings up a very good use for it in any sort of like, hey, I'm out here and I have no water, but it's about to rain. Use it to catch water. You took your stupid joke and made it a solid survival tip.
Now you
God
just
damn
gonna
it.
put a valve right in the center.
It's a great idea. Just like walk by. I'm thirsty.
No, you just need to take a balloon and you poke a couple holes in the bottom of it and you put it through the hole there, and then you just reach up and you just kind of suckle on it through there.
Suckle on it like a teat,
You lick
Oh,
it like a
like a
bunny
like a latex
or a
glove.
hamster.
You can milk it if you wanted to.
What the hell's wrong with you people?
Somebody drives by, Mike's milking these glove teats, and he's trying to shower.
Okay. How about that?
That's enough of that.
Vince, did you have anything good to save us from this nightmare before I push the button and just
What
end
about
it now?
about milk instead of milking the Prado?
Anything? Oh, that's got to be the show. So that's got to be one of the subtitles, Milking the Prado. So whatever our title is, and then one of the subtitles will be Milking the Prado.
100% agree.
All right, so I had a big long weekend where I got really hot. Which would y'all like to hear about first?
I'd like to hear about how hot you got.
You getting hot?
Me
like
getting hot.
it's gonna.
All right, I spent a lot of time outside this weekend, but I took Friday and Saturday off, and I went to the inaugural running of the first team run and gun event at the Burial Mound Shooting Center in Pawnee, Oklahoma. And so Friday I spent doing RO duties and then running the course, and then all day Saturday I spent 7 hours standing out there pulling RO duty in the North Oklahoma heat, which was quite oppressive. But I think I'm gonna start just kind of going through the whole event and I think I'm gonna focus on some of the new gear that I was using because it's things that I haven't used before, and kind of go from there. I'm gonna start off with like the stuff that didn't work and the problems I had, and then kind of go into the successes of the particular weekend after that. So the first thing that went wrong was Mr.
Pocket sand?
Pocket Sand Holster. And it's actually not Pocket Sand Holster's fault. See the screws that attach the QLS fork to the holster?
Yep.
Mhm.
If I tightened them all the way down, they interfered with the level 3 retention hood. And so I kind of like, okay, I just left them where they were. And after stage 4, I kind of realized my handgun was flopping a lot on my hip while I was running. And I looked down and I realized that the female end of one of the screws was completely gone. And one of the other ones came loose whenever I took the holster off unhooked the QLS fork. I'm like, well, that ain't no good. But I'm going to back up a little bit and cover kind of what a run and gun is and the whole situation there. So a run and gun is a 2-gun event with rifle and pistol where you have shooting stages and a timed run score. So you have a shooting score that's based on how you do compared to everybody else, and it's based on time. And then you have a run score that is also based on time, and it's weighted 50-50 for your overall score.
It's like
So
a marathon with guns.
more like a 5K, but
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
5K marathon, same thing.
Yeah, might as well be for my fat ass.
well, this one came out to 4.7 miles, and it was like 98
God.
degrees. So it was a rough day on the course, to say the least. And it was a team event. This was the first team event they did there. And for me personally, it was a bit interesting because I don't have any friends that would do this kind of thing with me.
I want to snapshot that fragment of "I don't have any friends."
Oh,
make
yeah,
that-
just put that on Instagram, just like 2 seconds. Like, I don't
I
have
don't
any
have any
friends.
friends.
And yeah, it's perfect. So I had to kind of rely on the event organizers to match me with one of the other range officers to get a teammate that might be able to match the pace and stuff. But we got out there and he was a little bit out of shape, so it kind of turned into me just having fun and not really trying to compete for the top spots. But anyway, going back a little bit, so this particular the event location, they have this one property that they can shoot on, and then a mile over, because it's all surveyed roads like y'all have in eastern Colorado and Kansas and stuff like that.
Mhm.
They have another property that they can shoot on. And so like half the shooting stages are on one property, and then you run for a mile and a half and get to the other property. So luckily, stage 4 was on property number 1, and that was the last pistol stage. So I got to take the holster off my belt and just shove it in my little bag on my back. So I didn't have to worry about it the rest of the time, even though it was like a mechanical problem. I got to just ignore it after that, so it didn't turn out to be too bad. For handguns, I'm using the Gerson MC. Hold on, let me try and not get it. MC P35 Ops. So that's the high power clone with the Picatinny rail on it.
Mhm.
And they designed the rear sight really poorly, and it likes to freaking so it has set screws that hold the thing where you want it, and they like to rattle loose. And the rear sight rattled loose at some point, and I realized on stage 4, so there was no rifle to pistol or pistol to rifle transitions in this one. Like stage 1 was all pistol, and stage 4 was all pistol, and that was all the pistol you had. So stage 4, I realized I'm not hitting what I think I should, and I'm having to slow down and really aim to actually hit anything, and I finally did. But then I realized later, like, the rear sight rattled loose. So when I got home, like yesterday, from the other part of the weekend, I removed that, and I freaking rock set all of the crap on that rear sight, and hopefully that holds it in place, and I won't have that problem again. But it likes to run loose on me. The next little bit of problem I had was, so I took the 5X micro prism and put it on my rifle that has all of the new stuff on it. Like, that rifle has the rifle speed adjustable gas block. It has a new ballistic advantage pencil barrel on it.
It's got the Mitchell bolt, right?
Yeah, it's got the Mitchell Defense bolt carrier in it, which this was the second time out with that. And I just got some offset iron, like the Magpul Pros, and took that out there. And so I was kind of glad, because I heard the course description and was like, okay, there's nothing that's like it's all super close, or there's some further away stuff, so I don't need to use my close rifle or my SPR. I can take out the rifle that has all the new stuff on it. And as far as like the barrel, can't really say. Barrel did fine. The gas block, gas felt okay the whole time. I got a little bit of gas in the face, but I kind of wanted it a little bit open in case there was a problem. I had one malfunction.
Did you open your mouth and take it?
You just got to keep your eyes open. Shoot with both eyes open and shut up, Mike. Anyway, yeah, I could have probably turned it down one, but so it goes to 12, right? And the higher it goes, the more gas you get. And I had it set on 4 suppressed with the YHM Turbo T2 on it. So it's kind of where I wanted it, and if I had to take the suppressor off, I could open it up 4 or 5, and I'd be good to go unsuppressed. So I don't know. It's kind of just right there in the zone where I wanted it. And if it got dirtier, I could open up the gas a little bit more. But I could probably get away with it on 3. And I think I may have ran it on 3 later. But anyway, I had one malfunction. I had one round on stage 2 fail to go fully into battery. But after that, it ran perfectly fine. Afterwards, I took that round and tossed it into the woods. So... But I do kind of have a story about that from later.
Now some child's going to find it.
No, Harold's going to find it. He goes through and looks for brass afterwards. Anyway.
No, some guy like
good for
me
Harold.
is going to find it, who finds random rounds in the ground and goes, I should shoot this.
I'm going to shoot that.
I have a story about that. I have a story about that coming up. Don't let me forget about it.
Okay.
Besides that, so on stage 2, I think that one was called One Up, One Down. And it was, I think, 6 targets at about 50 yards, like half IPSC targets, and then 3 full IPSC targets at 100. And so it's a team event, and one member started at prone, and the other started at a kneeling position. And it was okay. I named this stage deuces in my head because you had to communicate and decide what target you're shooting first and which direction you're going. And whoever was shooter A started by shooting one target, and then shooter B had to shoot that target before you could move on. And then shooter A moved on to the next target, and shooter B shot that target. And on and on and on until you cleared the whole set of targets. So you had to do double taps basically on each target. So do if you did it really fast. And then you switched. Whoever was kneeling had to go to prone, and whoever was prone had to go to kneeling. And you started all over again, except someone else was leading. And that's where I had the malfunction. But we got through it pretty well. And that was the last malfunction I had. And the only real problem I had with the 5X Prism was on that particular stage, because at the 50-yard mark, the targets were far enough apart that I was having trouble tracking through the optic which one I was on. So I couldn't transition, like just slide from there's that one, then that one, then that one. I was having to come out of the scope and then jump back in, come out, jump back in, and over and over. And then, of course, like I had to rely on my teammate whenever I had the malfunction. Like, okay, which one were we on? And he's like, we're on the third from the left. I'm like, okay, cool. And got back on it and kept going. We didn't score too bad on that, but it did cost us like 6 seconds while I dropped the mag, mortared the round out of the chamber, reloaded the mag, and then kept going. Which was a whole lot of fun. But
yeah.
Then we got to stage 3 where you had to crawl through a tunnel, and then you both had to shoot from different tunnels at targets. So I got some nice brass scalds on my arm from the rounds bouncing off the inside of the tunnel.
I mean, that's just deal with it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and my teammate lost some pistol mags, but luckily that didn't matter too much because once we got off of the first property, we were done with pistols, so we didn't have to worry about that at all. Pistol, I'm not so much interested in. He outshot me with pistol. He was better than I with the pistol today, or that day. Not today. Wasn't today. Let's see. Yeah, unfortunately though, he was not in on the heat conditioning like I have been, and it got to the point where, so when we started to move from property A to property B, it changed in my mind to like, okay, we're not racing now, and I'm just making sure that we don't have heat stroke over here.
Yeah.
Luckily, they were much looser this time with the whole, you can't take water from an RO. If you take water from an RO, you lose your run score and you get a DNF. This time they're like, yep, we're giving you water, and don't take too much. But, anyway, they were driving up and down the road, and they gave us a couple of waters, and then they came back, and we grabbed a couple more. And I'm just like, I'm carrying extra in case this guy needs it.
That's fair.
And yeah,
If you've ever seen
Nobody
a heat
wants to
exhaustion,
be.
if you've ever seen a heat exhaustion casualty, it's fun.
Nobody wants to be a heat casualty.
When you turn around and one of the people in your group just suddenly falls over like a cut marionette. You're just like, all right.
We don't allow people to take water from ROs. Shooter dies. All right, you can take water from ROs.
well, that's the kind of thing. Like, they want you to carry everything that you need with you. So if it's hot, carry water. But when it was that hot, so that's the other thing. We RO'd all morning, and then we started running at 2:30.
Oof. So you were basically out of water by that point already.
Like, we were, well, I was fine. I've been running in the afternoons, so I was like, yeah, it's hot, but I'm not dead. I don't think he did much heat acclimation at any point, so he was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna be the weak link today. And then we get to the first stage, and like, I end up missing the high value target on the pistol, and I'm like, well, there's 20 extra seconds. I hate freaking being the weak link with any part of this. But then, like, we got out to the running. I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm taking care of somebody now. All right. Now we got through the long haul on the road in between, and
Hang on real quick. Asian entry in the chat says, sometimes I'll tell you the story about drinking too much water with no electrolytes. He follows it up with, I don't think I've ever thrown up so hard in my life, and rounds it off with, I was in a radioactive forest. It was getting dark. I had no headlamp, but I was throwing up so hard the back of my throat started bleeding.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
yeah,
Where
did you
is
know
this
that?
radioactive forest, and where can I find it? Because I want to go there.
Did
This
you
sounds
know
like fun.
that you can die of dehydration while drinking plenty of water?
Yep.
Apparently, he was fighting that out. Oh, and he says it was 5 minutes from the car.
Oh,
He's good at
5
it.
miles? 5 minutes or 5 miles?
Oh, 5 miles. From
That's
the
5
car.
miles.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Knowing Agent Entropy, it probably was 5 minutes.
5 minutes is funnier.
I know. That's why my brain went 5 minutes, because I was about to say he's going to end up on one of these like missing 411 cases of a man who dies. Like there'll be big mystery YouTube channels about like, how could he have possibly died 5 minutes from his car? There's no way. Meanwhile, it's just he drank too much water and just keeled over dead.
On the next episode of I Shouldn't Be Alive, like, the diet double do in his system started mixing with the cheese puffs.
He says Dawson Forest. I'm going to immediately Google this.
Anyway, where was I?
I don't know. Sorry.
Running, carrying the team.
Carrying, my teammate, actually, he's a pretty good shot. Okay, and he's younger than me. I actually freaking forgot to ask, but he's like somewhere around 10 years younger than me. But he just was not in shape for the heat. But we managed to get over to the other property without either of us passing out. And stage 5 it was fun. It was 6 targets at varying ranges. My optic did fine. Everything worked fine for me, but then we moved on to so the next stage from there was actually a bonus stage, which was completely unscored. But it was one of the funnest stages on the course because it was, well, so it was a 6-inch target just on top of a slightly sloped roof at about 140 yards.
That's fucking awesome.
And you had 30 seconds and a maximum of 2 shots to engage and hit the target. And I hit the target on the first shot in 11 seconds. So
you're not saying you could have done it, but
I'm just saying,
Not saying he couldn't have either.
he could have been one of the counter snipers. We'll put it that way.
See, my first thought was like, what are they trying to do here? I mean, I get the joke, but what exactly? Yeah, it was like you're a counter sniper and you're shooting the target. And I think it was actually like 240 yards because that's what they had across the pond. But that was the whole joke. So,
Mike, I don't want to get too one quick this Dawson Forest, which is radioactive. You'll like this part, Mike. It's radioactive because they were experimenting with nuclear-powered aircraft.
Mike just got a big stiffy.
He did.
Nuclear-powered aircraft, you say?
His laptop is slowly looking up.
He's like, let me just up here a little bit. Anyway, go ahead, Vince.
Let's see, and then we get to stage 6, which stage 6 was possibly one of the most fun ones of the day, where you had 2 shooting positions and there was 4 targets out in front of you, and you couldn't see each other and you couldn't talk to each other except over a radio that they gave you. And you each had a box where you would draw playing cards out of, and those 4 targets were steel targets in the shape of a different suit. So from left to right, you had heart, spade, club, and diamond. And whatever card you drew out, you had to radio over the suit to your partner to shoot the particular suit that you drew. So if you drew a diamond, you have to radio over diamond, 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 and they would engage diamond, and then they would have to hit it, and they would draw a card out of their box and radio over to you. And you had to do that 4 times each.
That is an excellent drill.
Nice.
It was communication, and it was also your ability. And unfortunately, like the diamond and the club were way smaller than the heart and spade, it seemed like. So if you drew hearts and spades, like you had a way better time on that particular stage. But by the time we got there, like I'm like, dude, you go over there because you can lay down prone on the left side, because on the right side there was like a ladder type contraption that you had to like shoot through, and you had to rest on that to actually see over the edge of the hill. That was actually on the burial mound at Burial Mound Run and Gun. I should have gotten a picture. There's a plaque at the top that's like, this is an unmarked grave, because it's an actual Indian burial mound, and we were shooting off of it, and there's an American flag flying over the top. It was fantastic.
That's so metal. This could have only been better if you were shooting like an 1873 Springfield trapdoor off the top of it. Just saying.
Yeah, that's where one of those videos I showed you was, where I was messing with the offset irons, because I was trying to like, are these on?
Because just like, I'm going to shoot down the hill into the dirt, and I'm thinking.
Well, no, actually, I shot a rock and obliterated it. I was like, okay, that'll work.
That was a sacred rock, dude. You fucking animal.
Yeah, they're just freaking rocks.
It's an Indian 6 stone.
That's like one of my favorite memes in the entire planet. You know the little Wojak faces? The little black and white doodled faces that people... Okay, so there's 2 of them wearing like Roman... They're not really Roman helmets, but they're supposed to be. And they're like, hey, man, Caesar's taking us to Britain. Oh, sweet, let's go. And then on the down one below it, there's these 3 little Wojaks that got like dented heads and like misshapen necks, going like, oh, these blokes are weird. Oh, yeah, hope they don't touch our rock pile. It's a good history joke if you know anything, but that's one of my favorite memes. I hope they don't touch our rock pile. And the two Roman helmets are just like, God damn it. There's no riches here.
I think I
Idiots with
follow now.
rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that was a fun one. We actually shot pretty good on that one, and I'll come back. Part of the worst one was on that was like ROing, watching people just like miss over and over and over. Like, oh, that's rough. And then moving on to stage 7 from there, which was the last stage, it was called Not My Rifle, and there's 2 bays, and you had to start out by running to your teammate's rifle on the other bay and engaging 6 targets while they engage 6 targets with your rifle, and then running back on the signal and engaging 6 targets with your own rifle, and vice versa. Like, so you each use you used your rifle and your teammate's rifle on that one. And I asked my teammate like what he thought of like the 5X Prism, and he's like, yeah, I really like that. I didn't use the offset irons, I forgot they were there, but I really like the 5X Prism on that because it was 2 plate racks on each side, basically, that they're a couple feet apart and you could see them easily enough, and it was like do. I think he outshot me with my own rifle on that stage.
That's embarrassing.
Don't shoot me with my own gun.
Like,
yeah, I think because once I put his gun down after I got done shooting, I immediately got the call switch, which means that he was done already with my rifle whenever I got done with his. And then I ran back over there and I got to the last target, and the second to last one I fired, hit, and the bolt locked back, and I had to do a freaking mag change on the last target.
Oh,
I was like, "Argh." And I had missed a couple of times. Like I was moving too fast, and like, that whole thing, you can't miss fast enough to win a gunfight. And yeah, I missed a couple of times, and then I got to the last target and I had to do a mag change and ended up losing 3 seconds off the whole thing because of that, at least. But he really liked the 5X Prism. He said he's going to build an 11.5 and put one of those on it just because he liked it that much. I let him shoot it earlier because we were ROing the same stage on Friday, and he said he really liked it. Now, we actually ended up, this is the first run and gun I've done where I shot a higher score than I ran. So you can go look at your run score and see how you placed, and you can look at your shooting score and see how you placed. We placed 13th out of 82 shooting teams.
Damn.
In the shooting section, right?
Nice.
And we ran 23rd. And usually it's like opposite with me. Like I'll shoot like 20th and run second place. So I finished like 5th or 6th or something. We finished 18th overall. But on stage 6, the one with the cards and the radios, we finished first place in that one by 10 seconds.
Holy shit.
It's fast.
And that's because we RO'd that for RO day for 4 hours. And we got to watch everybody make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and talked about those mistakes. So when we finally got there, like, we have this plan already. We know how to do the stage. Like, let's just go. And we got up there and we like ran it freaking perfectly. The only that particular stage where you're radioing back and forth, that was a mental stage. That was not a shooting stage. That was all mental, because the team that beat us was the oldest century team, because there was I missed that part. There were 3 categories of teams that you could enter as. You could enter as average Joes, as parent-child, and you could enter as century. So if
old guys.
The old guys.
Yeah.
The team that got closest to us had a combined age of 132 years.
God damn.
Jesus.
They're out there like, 5 miles, Joseph. Oh no, let's go.
You say that. I think they placed higher than us in the whole thing. So, whatever.
So you are going to be their loot drops. Got it.
Pretty much. But they got up there cold and ran that thing in 76 seconds. And like that was the best score of the day until we got there, and we ran it in 67 because we had like mentally planned for it and watched everybody do all of the wrong things. So one thing people like to do is they would like get out of shooting position to radio and draw cards and then get back down into shooting position, and like they were doing way too much admin stuff instead of just staying in a shooting position and drawing a card, looking at it, grabbing the radio and radioing. And we just kind of like, okay, do as little as possible. Don't move. Reach in the bucket. Don't say extra things on the radio. Just yell out the suit really loudly 3 times and wait for the shot. And yeah. Oh, okay. That other thing I was going to talk about. Let me check my show notes really quick because I wrote these when I was actually thinking, well, yep, we were hot. Mm-hmm. Yep, limitations of the 5X. Like it doesn't work quite as well when things are really close. But, actually that got me thinking about like magnifiers and dots and why you would do a red dot with like a 6X magnifier, because that would get you the precision at like, so those suit targets were pretty small. And if you had like a 3X prism sight, you are not going to be able to see which one is which.
Oh.
Like you would have to use the cheat sheet to say that, okay, that is a heart and that is a spade. Because they're all the same color. They were just different shapes. And that made me think like the real advantage of the micro prism is that it is lighter, but it's neither fish nor fowl. It's kind of in the middle, which if you're doing a run and gun, having a lightweight thing that does okay at most things is it's kind of where you want to be if you're wanting to run fast. If you're not wanting to run fast, then it doesn't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But okay, yeah. The other thing, I only have like 2 videos on the GoPro because I wore a GoPro for this whole freaking thing, and I forgot to turn it on at 6 out of the 8 stages.
And if you didn't forget to turn it on, your audio is going to be all kinds of screwed up. Guarantee it. That's how that stuff always works.
Yeah, I turned it on at the stage where I didn't shoot very well with the pistol. And the last one might be okay. I haven't even looked at it yet. I was just like so disgusted with myself that I haven't even looked at those videos. But I turned it on for stage 7, I think. So I got the stage where you're playing the Not My Rifle game. Mm-hmm. And I turned it on for the pistol stage where I didn't do very well because my rear sight had shot loose. But on day 2, while we were just running RO duties, like standing out there for 7 hours, I went over there to stage 7, where we were playing the, Not My Rifle game. And of course, you have some downtime where you get to just hang out and talk or stand out there and shoot some. And after about 3/4 of the runners got through, I had been picking up ammunition off the ground from all of the runners because we had multiple. There was multiple malfunctions. Yeah. I started picking up people's malfunction ammo and loading a magazine with it. And then after about 3/4 of the runners got through, I took that magazine, put it in my rifle, and ran it through that rifle with the Mitchell Defense bolt, and it ran flawlessly. With everybody else's malfunction ammo. Which I thought was a lot of fun. Like, I should have gotten a recording of that, but also forgot.
I thought your gun was at a kaboom.
You should save hundreds of rounds and then run a match using only rounds you found on the ground.
Because I can boom the ejector off of a not Glock 19 doing that. Yep.
Yeah, this is.
I think it was a
pistols.
used like a plus P round or something because it was a factory load, and next thing I know, bang, like that didn't feel right, and sure enough, oh, my ejector's lying over there,
Yeah.
or extractor rather, not the ejector, the extractor.
At
I
that
was
point,
saved. I was saved from probably doom the last time I went to the range because I didn't have an AK with me, and I found a rusty round of 7.62 by 39. I looked at that rusty round and thought, if I
Sam's
was a
gonna die.
younger man, I would have shot this. I said,
hold it at arm's length.
oh, I totally would have.
You'll
I
be
would have
fine.
loaded it up and just one-handed it, like, yeah, don't kill me.
But at that point, I'd already put my my Night Force back on the rifle. And I was playing with my Night Force. Like, I do like this. I like the LPVO and being able to turn it down to like 2 on stuff that's about 50 yards or so,
Yeah.
and even closer, and just like, it's so fast. Like, doom, 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 doom. It was. That's what I did with the Skittles mag on there. But yeah, that was a fun weekend. It was. I got to play with the new equipment. I thought pretty well. This match was just a fun one. Everybody who I talked to and who had anything to say about it was like, "This is the best run and gun I've been to."
That's pretty good.
Especially that it was a team one. They also they did a thing where they changed par times to 180 seconds across the board on all of the stages, so they didn't have to like, oh, this one's 120, this one's 60, this one's yada yada, except for the bonus stage, but that didn't count for anything. You could just do it if you wanted to. But it was just 180, and everybody had a good time because everybody got to shoot a whole bunch. Oh, that was the one other thing. While I was ROing stage 6, so there was a parent-child division, and a dad came through. He was on a team with his wife and also on a team with his son. And so his 11-year-old son, like, I kind of encouraged him to, like, okay, send the 11-year-old over here with me so that I can keep an eye on this child while he is shooting an AR at these tiny targets shaped like, playing card suits. And so I'm like talking him through it and like helping him, because at that point it changes from like, this is not a competitor. I need to actually be over here and play a different role with this one and help him more than I would a different competitor, because he's 11 years old. Okay. He can carry the rifle, he can move it around, but he doesn't have quite the control that you would want him to. So I just had to stay a little bit closer, and he actually hit one of the targets, which I thought was freaking cool, because they're at like 137 yards and they're like 5-inch targets.
Damn.
And he's shooting kind of off of a plastic barrel that's sitting there. It was like he hit one. Cool. I think that might be more than his dad hit on that stage. I'm not certain. He outshot several people actually through the event. So
That's excellent.
anyway, that's my recap of the summer burial mound run and gun. The first team event that they did. I think they're going to be doing more team events in the future because this one was a fun one.
Nice.
And it was freaking hot. Oh, I got super sunburned because I wore shorts on Saturday while we're standing out there in the sun all day. That was fun.
Your pale little legs got a little lobstered.
Yep, a little bit. I was like,
You
man,
should-
that burns.
I did some yard work over the weekend and I got toasty as well. It was unfortunate. But you should sponsor an entire match, an entire run and gun using only rounds found on the ground. You can call it your found ground round pound.
Or not.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely good.
Just some asshole out there like tossing empty cases. Like, bullet in there, no powder.
Squib loads.
Squibs are for everybody.
Little trickle of powder.
Backwards
So do you want to hear about the rest of the weekend, or do we want to save that?
We are at an hour and 40, so I'd say we could probably save it.
Save that. Okay.
Cool.
I'll save that for next
Be good
time.
with
We can
that.
go into the rest of it. That was also hot, but that's all I'll say about that.
Well,
for now.
considering what I see what is in the show notes, I think this will be pertinent to next week's kind of topic. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all
Oh,
right.
yep.
All right.
Sure.
So,
So-
before you drum roll us out, leave us a review. You will get a sticker. Email us at wait for it new fancy email address contact. If you don't know how to spell contact, Google will do it for you at lghpodcast.com. Leave a review. Send the email. Tell me where you left the review. Give me your address. I will send you a sticker and probably nothing else inappropriate, but no promises.
We're so fucking official now.
He's probably going to send you a package of that dildo pasta.
I don't know what that means.
Actually,
But
what I sent typical PNW guy is just I sent him the Let's Go Hunt sticker, and then because I have so many damn stickers, because you just like every time you order something, they're like, here's some stickers, and it's like I don't have a sticker wall anymore, dude. So it's just like, we're gonna grab a pinch of those, pay him, we'll just send them. They're his problem. Because
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't hate stickers, but it's like I used to have a big old sticker wall where I used to live, stick all kinds of stickers all over it, and now I'm just like, I don't care anymore.
My ammo locker gets all my stickers, and now my Icy Tech cooler is going to start getting stickers. But it's just a place to stick things.
Yeah.
When
All right.
You have nothing else to stick it in. Wait.
all right. Now that
Hey.
I've talked for like 30 minutes straight, support the sport and take a buddy hunting. Get some trauma training. Search for Let's Go Hunt on YouTube, Instagram at Let's Go Hunt Podcast, and at Reddit at r/Let's Go Hunt Podcast. We also have links available at, you guessed it, lghpodcast.com. If you enjoyed the show, tell your friends and family about us. Check out the show notes for info on Initiative 91, the ban on cat hunting in Colorado. Thanks for listening, and let's go hunt.
Perfect.
Solidly emotional outro. I approve.
And the music lined up perfectly. I like Mushroom People or Chicken Rockefeller.
I was thinking Chicken Rockefeller milking the Prado.
Yeah.
That'll do.